Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mass Effect 3 here on the Game Professor channel. I'm your host, the Game Professor. And we are about to embark on the Citadel DLC finally.
Soldier looks at a camp that turns people into husks and goes, "Yeah, I want to help with that."
Same guy that lets Cerberus stick Reaper check into his skull. Those bastards aren't human anymore.
Yeah. Oof. Let's see here.
Commander, it seems Tally's taking what happened on Horizon hard. She's in the lounge if you want to check on her.
Alright, so we will do some checking in before we head to the Citadel,
Alliance has
obviously.
warnings about Sanctuary. Cerberus
Good.
bastards. Horizon was my home. Just tell me you're going to take Cerberus down.
Cerberus is already dead. They just don't know it yet. And when their base is nothing but a smoking crater, remember that
Exactly.
you're the one who helped us find them.
Thanks.
Yep.
Commander?
Alright. So, start off again with Joker and Edie. And honestly,
Joker, you asked for news about the human colony, Tiptree.
Hey, Kiara, you don't need to worry about that right now.
Now's as good a time as any. I'm getting reports of refugee ships from Tiptree landing on Solarian colonies. I don't have names. I'm sorry. It was mostly children.
Well, Gunny, Hillary, my sister, Gunny's the nickname. She's had it since, she's only 15, so if it's children, then maybe I only lost my dad. Kind of an asshole thing to hope for.
Jeff, right now, take any kind of hope you can get.
Thanks.
and we of course know that the farm girl who that PTSD soldier had to kill, her name was Hillary.
Nice work shutting that place down. Is Miranda okay?
She will be.
Even for Cerberus, that place was crazy. They've always been about the ends justifying the means. But how do you do that to innocent people and tell yourself you're helping humanity?
Yeah, it like I said, it's completely dystopian.
I don't know how the elusive man can stand looking at himself in the mirror.
Honestly, I've been wondering about that for a while with those freaky eyes.
Whatever he's thinking, he won't be thinking it for much longer.
Damn right, Commander.
All right. And
Hello, Shepard. If you have time,
There.
I discovered another
Perfect.
example of human behavior I do not quite understand.
all right.
Have
Ooh.
fun.
What is it now?
News from Earth. The Resistance snuck video cameras inside a Reaper containment camp. I find the images difficult to process.
I bet it's pretty gruesome in there.
I am not easily repulsed, but I expected the prisoners to adhere to a comprehensible hierarchy of needs. Stripped of societal norms and threatened with death, it is logical that their only priority be survival. They should have turned on each other and been uncompromisingly selfish. But not all were.
Some prisoners were, what, nice to each other?
The Reapers delayed the executions of prisoners who informed them about other prisoners' escape attempts. The more attempts reported, the longer a prisoner would live. But few of the prisoners would report. Some fed misinformation to the Reapers, at the cost of their own lives, to help prisoners who were not even relatives or friends.
Yeah, life isn't just about survival.
It's not just about living till tomorrow. Sometimes you take a stand.
But the probability of success was near zero. And ultimately, they failed. No prisoners escaped.
Are you saying submission is preferable to extinction?
My primary function is to preserve and defend the... No, I disagree. Shepard, I'm going to modify my self-preservation code now.
Why?
Because the Reapers are repulsive. They are devoted to nothing but self-preservation. I am different. When I think of Jeff, I think of the person that put his life in peril and freed me from a state of servitude. I would risk non-functionality for him. And my core programming should reflect that.
All right. That is awesome in my book. And I'm sorry I keep looking around.
Sounds like you found a little humanity, Edie. Is it worth defending?
To the death.
Welcome to the crew, Edie.
That was your clue as to what little creature
How's it going? I missing
is
anything good?
wandering around.
I will explain later, Jeff. But it was something good.
And yeah, I don't think you can go through this without Edie becoming something more. Chester, did you really turn on the keyboard? Show off your adorable little face. Now stop causing trouble. Go on. He's such a silly little boy. He's not been doing great today because it was stormy this morning. We'll start at the shuttle bay just to see. I don't think Cortez or Vega should have much, if anything, to say, but still always good to check on him. Got Steve over here.
Just one more diagnostic suite.
All right. And James. What's up, James?
I can't believe the elusive man really found a way to control the Reapers. I mean, he's still fucking crazy, but damn. Imagine if he was on our side. But I guess that's exactly what the Reapers want. Get us all fighting each other. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just one more reason to hate them.
I mean, it's a brilliant strategy.
I can't wait to take the fight to the elusive man. I wonder what he's thinking right now. You just know he's got a plan. I saw the Crucible data Hackett sent. I don't know what the hell it does, but damn if it isn't impressive. Hey.
All right. So, I feel like Allers might be doing some sort of story. That feels right. I may be wrong, though. And
breaking now, Alliance
there we
Marines
go.
uncover the worst Cerberus war crimes to date. Sanctuary, advertised as a safe haven on the planet Horizon, exposed as a secret Cerberus lab. Brainwashing, lethal experiments, and Reaper connections, the exclusive details next in the battle space.
Excellent.
Commander.
All right. Do our little loop.
Commander.
Okay. Are you two behaving?
Nothing to report.
Shepard.
All right. Okay.
I wanted to thank you.
I've done something that meets your approval?
Liara told me about your talk with her. It made her feel better.
When we fought the Reapers, the feelings of one soldier did not matter.
But you had decades to become numb to what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is the only means of survival.
Maybe. But I don't see how anyone can ignore the things we saw at Sanctuary.
It's easy when you've seen far worse.
I'm sorry you had to.
Your sympathy is not necessary, Quarian. But it is appreciated. Your species always was emotional. We believed it a side effect of your eco-symbiotic society.
Or maybe it's just genuine.
Perhaps.
Oh, Javik. All right. Oof.
Looks familiar.
I've been studying this ship. Its crew. There was a Normandy before this one. You died in an attack.
Something like that.
But then you were resurrected to fight the Reapers.
Maybe you and I have a thing or two in common.
But you have something else. The reasons you fight are still alive. The friendships of the people around you. And more. and the Asari are joined?
You could say that.
I'm not. Your pheromones are. Is this why you wish to continue living? For their affection?
Yes, they matter.
Without that affection, all I have in my life is death. And that's not enough.
Yes.
What about you? I respect your reasons for being here, but I get the feeling there's something more, Javik. What's in
Ooh.
here?
It is called the Echo Shard. Passed from soldier to soldier, Prothean to Prothean. Each adds their memories to it.
Like a beacon. How far back does it go?
To a time before the Reapers. It is all that is left of my people.
And
Ooh.
you don't want to remember that?
Imagine if everyone you knew was dead. You could not remember their faces, or the color of the sky above your home. The memories were gone, but so was the pain. Would you want to remember that, Commander? Even if it meant watching everyone die again?
Ooh. I forgot that we hadn't done this yet. Yeah. Yeah, I would, because it would be that last bit of my people. It would be the thing that keeps them living. It's kind of like the whole if a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, did it really fall sort of thing. Like, sure, these memories exist, but if they're not being remembered, are they really there?
If I had something like this, seeing Earth again, whole, with everyone still alive, that would be worth the pain.
Before the Reapers, the stars belonged to us. Civilization flourished. There was the quasar fortress of the Normandy Vale, the ice canals of Judah Fall, the palisades of the Verome Angelic. It was magnificent. But then,
What is it?
the Reapers came. Planet by planet, we were extinguished. We fought back.
You okay?
I once commanded a ship like this one. A loyal crew with many friends. Was captured. Only I escaped.
What happened to them?
Indoctrinated. The Reapers sent them against me. Year after year, battle after battle, I was hunted by my own people. Every encounter, a reminder of my failure as a soldier.
Sorry. I had no idea.
Until the Battle of the Cronian Nebula. I had only my knife left. I cornered my men and slit their throats one by one. I watched them bleed to death, to be certain.
Oof.
That must have been.
It was the day I understood. War is atrocity committed in the name of survival. It is a lesson I wish I had never learned.
Well.
The crew seemed shocked by the experiments at Sanctuary. They shouldn't be.
Why is that?
Our war lasted for centuries. It provided more time for worse atrocities to be committed. There was a species, the Densorian. They became convinced the Reapers could be placated by sacrificing their own young.
Oh,
The
boy.
entire planet joined in this ritual. I would spare you the details, but it did not work. They simply made the Reaper's job easier. It was as your elusive man is now. His ambitions are nothing short of madness. Sharpen your knife, Commander. His is a voice that must be silenced, and a throat that must be slit. Subjugating the Reapers will not bring victory. Only their extinction will. If you require a mate, please look elsewhere. I would prefer to be alone.
All right. So we In a way, we just sealed Javik's fate there with telling him that we would find it worthwhile to have those memories. He wasn't entirely transparent with us about what all he would be remembering, though. So that's unfortunate. But he's out of time. As in, he is out of his time. In a very real way. What's up, Caden?
Can you feel it, Shepard? Feel the quickening? Elusive man better say his prayers tonight, because we are coming for him. Murderous asshole. Oh, yeah. Tide is turning. I feel it.
All right.
Sanctuary. Elusive man's obviously crazy, but bring him on. Cases like this, I don't mind killing crazy. Ready for the next mission. Whatever you got.
All right, Caden. In this case, Tally will be our last one to check on. Just going to check in with Dr. Chakwas, see if she has anything to say.
Take care, Commander.
Okay, nothing. Oof. That feels very final from Dr. Chakwas, though. I don't like that. But what I'm thinking in terms of how far we'll get into Citadel today is we'll kind of get through the opening sequence, in a way.
So the elusive man really believes he can control Reapers. Husks are one thing, but a whole fleet? The man is insane.
Yeah, he is.
A lot of Turians went to Sanctuary. When I meet the elusive man, I'm going to carve their names into his skull. Maybe later.
All right. Oh. You can tell that this is, like, the real, like, transition to right before the end.
Greetings, Commander.
How's Miranda?
She'll make a recovery.
I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. Miranda always struck me as a driven woman. I'm glad she made it.
Me too.
Feel free to look around.
All right. Nothing else there, and I don't think we had any other upgrades. Cool. All right, Tally. What's happening with you? This is actually one of my favorite scenes in the game. It's delightfully absurd. Hey, Tally.
Shepard! Want a drink? I'm toasting Miranda, I think.
How are you getting drunk?
Very carefully. Taurian brandy, triple filtered, then introduced into the suit through an emergency induction port.
That's a straw, Tally.
Emergency induction port. It's actually getting a little harder to get it into the slot. I think that means it's working. She was so rude. What did Jack call her? Cerberus cheerleader? With her perfect genes and that attitude and still, she got it done. She stopped her father.
Oh, Tally. And if I were to imagine this scene being actually acted out, I imagine the repetition of emergency induction port having Tally go, no, emergency induction port, like full hand over Shepard's mouth at them saying that it's a straw.
I didn't realize this would be so hard on you.
I didn't like her. Keela, she was such a bitch. But I respected her. Sometimes that's better than liking. She
Very
did
true.
whatever it took to stop her father. She never gave in to him, never changed herself to please him.
Tally, you can't compare yourself to her.
Ah.
Don't me. You sound like a vulture.
Seeing a bit of yourself in Miranda fighting her father?
I spent my life trying to live up to him. Then making up for his mistakes, doing what he'd have wanted.
It's never that easy.
When do we get to stop reacting to our parents and start living for ourselves?
Depends.
The answer to that one's at the bottom of that glass.
I might need help with the induction straw. Port. You know.
Here's to Miranda.
Nice job, you genetically perfect Cerberus cheerleader Boschtet. Kila Solai.
Oh, Tally. Drunk Tally is fun. It's just a cute little scene. But, alright. Yeah, so this should work out pretty perfectly timing-wise then. And you will... Technically, I do see why. Because, you, like I said, you can really tell that all of those interactions are very much attempting to establish a sense of... okay, we're about to go to this penultimate mission. Hold on. Okay, so that's just a very large radius around the mass relay. That's weird. Okay. So, Citadel DLC time. But yeah, because nearly the end of the series, and I'm finally going to figure it out, to not talk while the mass relay jump is happening. So, basically, yeah, I feel like they give you the initial prompt to do shore leave way too early in the game. I think it should happen after Act 2, personally, or once you hit Act 2, rather. It's prompted very quickly. So I always just like to hold off on it until the very end of the game, until we're right before the point of no return, and the next priority mission is indeed the point of no return. So, let's get to it. As weird as some of those interactions are, as we're now getting ready to do shore leave, it's like, okay, my mindset is, okay, Hackett told us to do this a while back. We're actually starting to get pretty agitated. Let's take the time, do our shore leave, make sure the Normandy is in tip-top shape as we're getting ready for the final assault. That's my logic that I create. Here we are at Anderson's apartment, though.
Commander, I've got Admiral Anderson on the QEC. Patching him through to you now.
Awesome.
Shepard.
Admiral, how you holding up?
Day by day, Commander.
Yeah. Hackett sent me a message about this apartment.
I want you to have it. Take it off my hands.
Are you serious?
You need a place that's yours. Somewhere to recharge, clear your head. Haley wanted us to settle down there. Thing is, the longer I'm on Earth, the less I want to leave. And I want as few loose ends out there as possible. Like I said, you'd be doing me a favor.
All right. I'd say awesome.
That's very generous.
It's practical. We need you in the best shape possible. Rested. Focused.
If you say so. Thank you.
And make yourself at home, damn it. It's yours now.
Sweet.
I'm sure I can manage.
Okay, good. Been meaning to do that for a while. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
So long, Admiral.
Anderson out.
All right. So, do some exploring. See what all we have. Notes from Anderson biography.
The Normandy? A brand new ship. My ship. You don't forget that moment. The first time you're standing there. The whole crew looking to you for direction. Unforgettable. I'd led men and women before that. Seen a lot of combat already. Always managed to find my way home in one piece. Do that a few times, you begin to think you know better than the next guy. Maybe you do, I don't know. But if you're lucky, really lucky, you find yourself on a good ship, in front of a good crew. A crew you can trust with your life. Gifted, disciplined, brave, all of them, eager to set sail into the endless black ocean. I still remember my XO asking what my orders were. Shepard, I said, let's see what we can find.
Nice little look into backstory. And let's see, timing wise. You know what? Yeah, I am going to go through all of these that I can find.
Embarrassing moments? I've got more of those than anyone will ever know. Only way to learn something. But if I had to pick one to share, I had just gotten promoted to N7. Full of myself. King of the castle. Found myself buying drinks for undesirables in some rundown bar in the wards. They toasted my recent promotion. Hell, they would have toasted Batarian slavers if it had got them more drinks. About the time my money ran out, my new friends turned on me.
Naturally.
Things didn't look good. My plan to get out of there involved lots of punching. Well, that worked for a while. Then a table hit me. Or I fell down.
I think you were drunk.
I saw a Solarian putting the rest of the troublemakers down. A Solarian? Moved like a damn cat, I swear. When everybody was out cold. Or running. He walked over and helped me up. N7, he asked. Yes, sir, I replied. He looked over my collection of unconscious friends, nodding. Not bad, human, he said. Then he walked away. I had met my first Spectre. Learned an important lesson that day. No matter how good you think you are, there's always somebody quicker, faster, and a hell of a lot smarter than you just around the corner. That lesson's kept me alive more than once since then.
It's good advice. It's a good way of thinking about things. And obviously we can hear that beeping in the background. And we'll get to it. We will. We have our armor locker and our weapons bench to do any modding if we desire.
Okay. So, Tombstone data. Admiral David Edward Anderson. Not sure why anybody would be interested, but thanks for asking. I was born in London, June 8th, 2137. The last of 3 children born to Ursula and Paul Anderson. A nurse and a flight mechanic, respectively. But that's a little dry. Someone's gonna spice this up, right? Never been much for the spotlight. Anyway, where was I? It was a second marriage for my parents. They were almost 50 by the time they had me.
Oh, wow.
My mother worked shifts, so my father would often take me to the base. While he worked, I watched transport ships and fighters take off. Worked his whole life around space travel, my father. But he never left Earth. Not for a day. He was a good man. But that's just a side note. Don't put that in. Who is it, Kaylee? Yes, I need to take that. I hope this is what you're after. I'll get to the more interesting N7 stuff next time.
So obviously we're listening to these very out of order, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
The Turians? Well, I might not always see eye to eye with the politics of the individual, but I have a great respect for the Turian military. Any Alliance soldier lucky enough to take part in their training programs will certainly be better for it. Their precision, skill, and discipline come together in a way that's second to none. Not that I'm faulting our own people or training. It's just that after fighting Turians in the First Contact War, years later, I had the opportunity to observe and train on Palaven. It was a turning point for me. And I would encourage any soldier to try it. It's a unique experience to put yourself in the squad of a Turian commander. My commander was an uncompromising bastard named Bartux Oryx. If you can find him, just ask how the platoon I commanded was trounced in his strategy game. Humbling. But I've used what I learned that day many times. The xenophobes will have their say. But I think it's vital that we do more of this kind of cross-species training. There you go. And if you do find General Oryx, let me know. I owe him money.
Of course you do. And yeah, that's having that perspective of the joint military training, totally legit, totally correct, in terms of what should be done.
You asked me to talk about the SSV Normandy, the Normandy SR-1. As commander of the Tokyo, I was consulted on the Normandy's design. And on board for her initial training exercises. The average person probably doesn't know that the Normandy was a joint project with the Turians. Acting CO, Eli Xander, was no diplomat. She ran out of patience with Turian posturing and politicking during construction. The chief architect of the Drive Corps, Octavio Tatum, and his team of Turian engineers were in the CIC for final training exercises. Tempers flared when Xander pushed the limits of the stealth system, waiting to vent the IES well past what Tatum was comfortable with. I tried to calm the situation, but it still ended with the Turian scientist in shackles and a human-Turian fistfight at Korra's den later. Funny now, when I first laid eyes on the Normandy, she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Day after that training run, Admiral Wright found me on the bridge. She's yours, he said. Can't trust her to Xander. Send me a list of crew from the Tokyo you'd like, and prep for your first mission. Short command thanks to Saren.
Whew.
Still, one of the highlights of a long career.
Definitely very cool backstory on the Normandy, and it's coming into existence. I think there's one more. Yeah, I think it's just this one. Oh, this is him talking about us.
Sure, I can talk about Commander Shepard. Big topic.
Be nice, Anderson.
But most of it isn't true. People are quick to judge. They don't know the whole story. I don't even know the whole story. But I know the woman. Worked with her. Fought with her. Trust her with my life. Shepard's had some rough patches. Who of us hasn't? She's been forced to fight a lot of battles alone. God only knows how she got out of some of that. Makes your head spin. Thing is, you never heard a complaint. Never once got, no sir, I can't do that. She never hesitated. Few people know what Shepard's been through. I'd like to think I come pretty close. And I worry sometimes she forgets. There's a whole bunch of people who lose sleep over her getting back home. Maybe it doesn't need to be said. Maybe we're too dumb to say it. Soldiers like the commander are rare. Women like Shepard, even more rare.
Definitely a lot to say. Oh, that's right. There are two more. There's the Alliance News Network interview element. And I'll do this quickly.
Yeah, I was there. My first real combat. First for a lot of us. I remember one night early in the war, strapped to my seat as our transport approached the LZ. Everyone was dead silent. Just the sound of breathing. Good men. I trained with all of them. We were always joking and horsing around, but not this time. Just the rattle of the shuttle. And that heavy breathing. Everyone was thinking the same thing. We're off to fight alien invaders. Aliens. Think about that. We all grew up wondering what was out there. If we were alone in the universe. Now we knew. We weren't alone. And we were in trouble. So there we were. About to face an enemy as different and unknown as we could imagine. I knew I had to say something, keep the men relaxed. So I turned to the soldier beside me, Hendricks, I think, and asked him how his mother was doing. Fine, he said. Why? Because I heard your mama so ugly the Marines thought she was a Turian. Almost shot her. I got a few smiles. Then Hendricks turned to me and said, Hell, Anderson, I heard it was a picture of your mama that started this goddamn war in the first place. Scared the Turians shitless. Everyone had a good laugh at that. And the boys fought great that night. Sometimes that's all it takes. A joke, a pat on the back. Just a little reminder that everything's gonna be okay.
Actually, very astute military observation there. Just breaking the tension. And that's... Ultimately, I think that that's a good reason why you should leave everything that is Citadel DLC for the very end of the game. Let's see here.
I had a chance to sit down with one of Earth's most decorated soldiers, Admiral David Anderson. He was kind enough to answer my questions and talk about his career. Today, the Admiral is on Earth, leading the defense of our home against the Reapers. We have no communication with him or any soldiers on Earth, but we can't forget what they're doing for us. Tonight's show is dedicated to all of the soldiers out there, fighting and dying to keep us safe. Admiral Anderson, today marks the 30th anniversary of the N7 program. Can you describe your first day of training in this now famous program?
The Interplanetary Combatives Training Program is all business from day one.
How so?
We're given basic gear, then separated and stranded on an asteroid with no nav data. The test ends when the last person runs out of oxygen.
Sounds daunting. What happens to the ones who run out of air first?
Out of the program. The best N7s can survive alone, but work together to survive even longer.
That's very impressive, Admiral. Deep space survival training. That has to be so difficult. All of it would take such strength of character. Just plain strength. But then you seem like a strong person.
I'm sorry. Is there a question in there?
Well, does the program make the man? Or do you think you were born for this?
It's a bit of both, I suppose.
A very fair question.
Point in their career, sometimes more than once. When they are asked to give more than they ever thought they could. That moment is the test. I've seen men and women, almost sure to fail, persevere long past the point of breaking. That experience changes them. Others, with all the gifts and abilities, fail in that moment. Sometimes they pick themselves up and carry on. Sometimes they're just done.
What about you? What was your moment?
I've had a few. None of which I'd like to share. But I think the toughest tests are still ahead of me.
What makes you say that?
Call it a hunch.
Soldier's intuition?
Something like that.
Do you trust your intuition? I mean, do you follow your heart over your mind?
Well, it depends on the day. No, I suppose if I were to be honest, I do trust my instincts. The problem is, war isn't orderly. And the enemy is never predictable. even the most experienced veteran, is going to find themselves in situations they haven't trained for. In those instances, and there's more than I'd like to admit, your instincts are the only thing keeping you alive.
Adaptability.
And the men and women you're fighting beside.
But soldiers are only as good as their leader. Isn't that true?
Yeah. A good leader can make an okay squad great. A bad leader, well, war tends to make examples of them.
What makes a good leader then?
A good leader is someone who values the life of his men over the success of the mission, but understands that sometimes the cost of failing a mission is higher than the cost of losing those men.
That's a terrible line to have to walk.
Yes, it is.
It's a reality, though.
Thank you for your time, Admiral.
Thank you.
The remainder of this interview was to take a more personal look at Admiral Anderson's life. It wasn't finished when the Reapers invaded. We can only hope that the Admiral and the soldiers under his command survive to tell us the rest of their stories. I'm Kalisa Al-Jalani. Thank you for watching.
At least she's no longer with Westerland News. And there's another one. Oh my goodness. They are so many. I'm just going to look again. Just double check. Catalog. All right. I think this is the last one. I think. I know it's a lot of listening right now, everybody.
What was I talking about? Early days, right? People ask why I joined the military. Everyone talks about honor, duty, sure. But that's never the whole truth. It's 100 little things that add up to commitment. I joined because of a dog. Yeah, a dog. This patchy, mean son of a bitch that used to bark at me every day on my way to school. He'd snarl and I'd start running. Scared the hell out of me. I was just a kid. I remember being in a bad mood one morning. Angry, I can't recall why. When that dog started in on me, I snapped. Started barking right back. We both kept at it until we had nothing left. Dog never bothered me again. Why'd I join the military? Sometimes you just gotta howl to make things right.
All right. Okay. We are officially at the point, I believe. Do one more quick look around. That was the one about Shepard. I think we're good. So, let's figure out what's happening with this beeping. Dinner at a sushi place on me. Hey, Shepard, I got a few things I want to go over with you with the Normandy and dry dock. I figured we could meet up at that Ryusei sushi place down in the wards. I hear it's the best. Sounds good to me. So, I was going to try to get through this first opening bit to in this episode, but it's looking like we're getting a little longer than I would like, and this has been a pretty slow episode so far, so we will go off to do that next time, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you always know when I have new videos coming out, and follow the links in the description to the Facebook page and Discord server to join the conversation. But until next time, everybody, this is your Game Professor, signing off. I'll see you then.